just realized that my microphone was turned off, you guys. So sorry about that. Today is Tuesday, October 24th. I'm excited to say this is the last time that I'm going to be doing the ghetto version of the stream. I'm starting next week. I'm going to be doing the StreamYard. So it's going to be a lot better. It looks like it's glitching right now. Let me figure out why it is not functioning. Hang on, guys. Let me know. Is it frozen on your screen for you too? Okay, it looks like it is back up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's see if this fixes it. Okay. Oh, I know what it is. Hang on, guys. Thank you for your patience. All right, I think that's better. Sorry, something weird going on. It looks like we are back and it's fixed. As I was saying, this is the last week that you guys are gonna have to look at this bootleg screen. I finally got over my fear of technology and learning new things, and I figured out how to use StreamYard, which is ridiculously easy. This is not a plug for them. They're not sponsoring my show, but if you want to sponsor me, StreamYard, go ahead and hit up your girl. All right, so we have a couple things, couple little church announcements. Before we bring on our guests, I've got a couple ladies in the waiting room ready to have a great conversation tonight. Quick shout out. Hello, Kenny. Nice to have you. Thank you so much for all your support. He's tuning in from Washington, D.C. These are the OGs, guys. They know the drill. We've got Jewel coming in from Atlanta, Georgia, and she was the first one here in the comments. So great to see you. All right. So here are a couple of quick announcements. If you guys are not following me already on Instagram, you can do so. Oh, forgot it's mirrored on Instagram over here. I have a lot of fun over there. And this is what my account looks like. You guys can see here. I keep forgetting it's mirrored. I got to switch that because it's so awkward to show it the opposite direction. But on my account, we do lots of polls. I try to have them every day. It's not every single day, but we'll do polls. And then people who are on my Patreon account, they can see all the answers to the surveys that I take. Okay. So again, pardon the graphics, you guys, it's a hot mess right now, but this is the last time. You guys can say I've been here since the beginning when she had the ghetto bootleg version of the show. What's my other announcement? Oh, tomorrow we have my first class in a very, very long time. Well, actually, it might be my first live class for women in relationships. All my other stuff has been for singles. I used to do content for relationships a long time ago, but I really narrowed down to singles recently. But this is the first live class I'm doing. So if you want to be a part of this one and you want to be there and receive access to the Q&A portion at the end, go ahead and slide in my DM with the word tune up, not tuna, as some people thought I was saying, tune up, and I will give you the information. It starts tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 Eastern. We're going to be talking about the 10 most common mistakes that women who are in relationships make that sabotage the relationship and cause their men to shut down emotionally. And when a man emotionally retreats, it is nearly impossible to get him back. So make sure you slide in my DM on Instagram to get more information about that. Shout out to all my patrons. Everybody who supports me on Patreon, it's from $5 to $20, depending on how much you want to support. And each level, each tier has different access. And so if you want to become a patron, that is huge, huge, huge for me. It really helps me to be able to afford things like StreamYard. That's just something that comes out of pocket. So that type of stuff does go a long way in helping me continue to not be ghetto for you guys. Last but not least, before I bring the ladies on, if you want to support, you can also do it through a super chat. There's a little button right here in the chat box. So if you do that, I will shout you out. I will do my best to do it immediately unless someone else is speaking, and then I will wait and be polite until it's my turn. All right, guys, let me know what city and state you are watching from, and I am going to bring the girls on camera. All right, y'all. I've got a lovely panel today. I actually handpicked these women because they have strong opinions. We don't want anybody with just a timid, disposition. We want to get into it. We're not here to be polite and mince our words, although, of course, we're going to be respectful, and I know they will. But we're going to talk about something that has been highly controversial. By a show of hands, how many of you ladies have seen that video that is circulating of the woman who refused to get out of the car for, I believe it was cheesecake, the Cheesecake Factory? How many of you guys saw that? Okay, so we lost Tay for a second. Tay, have you seen that video? Oh, you're muted, love.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. You've heard it? You've seen it?
Okay. I've seen that video that is and the only thing that I can say, the only thing that I agreed with on that list was their house or my house or whatever, something like that I saw.
Okay.
It's like I had to stop looking at it for a minute. I said, this can't be for real. I don't think a bunch of women came up with this list because most of the places, I love all of those places. Are you kidding me?
we have a lot that we're going to unpack. Ladies, bear with me. Okay, I was telling everybody when I first came on, this is the last week. We're gonna say sayonara to the ghetto Zoom screen. Sai has been here since the beginning of time, and so she has seen the ghetto screen. You guys, it's not fun trying to adjust things live, which is what I'm trying to do right now. So distracting. But I'm trying to adjust this here. 1 second, you guys. Oh, duh. I'm going to do it like this. But starting next week, Lord willing, I will be using StreamYard, and it's a lot more seamless and it's easier for me to use, and I don't have to be doing all this crazy stuff. There we go. Okay, finally. That was bugging me so much. All right, I have one more person who is going to be joining us. This is somebody that is definitely not going to hold back, and so it's going to be great. We've got Derek coming in. But I want to go ahead and share the list. I want to share if anyone hasn't seen. Actually, let me know in the comments if anyone has not seen this video we're talking about. If you have not seen the video, click no. If you have seen the video, click yes. And by the way, we have 0 likes so far, so we got to get those likes up. If you guys are enjoying this show, go ahead and click like. And then I'm going to share my screen here so you guys can see the list, and we're going to read it off, okay? All right, so these are the places that women said that they refused to go to on a first date, all right? So the very first one is Cheesecake Factory. Kenny said, what's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? Ladies, cheap date. Be honest, that's funny. Number 2, Applebee's. And you know what? I wonder if we should do by a show of hands. Okay, if you refuse to go here on a first date, raise your hand for that particular one, okay? So Cheesecake Factory, raising your hand means I refuse to go there, okay? And Derek, you can say raising your hand means I refuse to take a woman there if you want. All right, so welcome, Derek. Okay, so number 2, so first one, Cheesecake Factory. Oh, Sai's using the Zoom hand. Okay, she said, nope, I'm not here for it. All right, number 2 is Applebee's. No, this has nothing to do with the date. I just do not like their menu whatsoever, so I'm not going there in life. But Applebee's,
right? That's a thing, right? No, because it's not just like has nothing to do with the cost or the price or that it's a chain. It's just like my reason is different. You know what I mean? For like a lot of these places, I saw the list, and for the most part, I wouldn't want to go to most of those places on a first date.
Yeah.
On a first date.
Okay.
So just putting that out there.
Okay, I feel you. All
and
right,
I can elaborate and explain.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so number 2 is Applebee's. No, so we got one. We got one no from Kimberly. Kat is no for all of them. Sai is definitely no. Okay.
Not all.
Okay.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay. Number 3 is Chili's. I actually rock with Chili's. They took away the nachos that I liked. Okay, Kimberly said, hail to the nachos.
I don't like Chili's. Chili's is nasty. I don't like
I like their drinks, though. I like their drinks, but
okay.
Yeah, no.
I don't like the food.
Definitely.
You said what, Shantae?
I said the drinks are definitely popping from Chili's.
Okay.
Other than that, I will say that the one here in Virginia, Not the best.
Okay. All right. Number 4, Chipotle. Say it all ethnically. Oh, we got hands going up from Chipotle. Okay.
Only because I probably had Chipotle for lunch, like 9 times out of 10, and I'm not gonna want to have it again. It's not really, you know.
I just don't like that. I don't like
Unless
it.
you're gonna meet me for
I
lunch.
eat real Mexican food.
Okay. Okay.
I love Chipotle. I love it. Absolutely. It's one of my love languages. I love it.
I never had it.
Oh, okay. Do they have it in your area, or you just haven't
Me
gone
neither.
to?
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah, I think I only recently went there, and this sounds like a major ad or diss for like a review for chains. We should be getting some sponsorships. But my guy likes their bowls because it's healthy, so that's the only reason I've tried it, and now I've started to like it. Okay, number 5, Olive Garden.
No.
Okay, so no
It's
for
not
first
good
date.
food.
Yeah, I don't care for their food. But again,
And it's so overpriced. It really
It's
is.
not good food.
Okay.
Who that's for?
You said what?
I said, who that's for?
Wait.
Olive Garden?
Yes.
I thought they broke down all the chains. I didn't even think they existed.
I love it.
Trying to be funny, no, I honestly thought they got rid of them.
That one in Boston.
Travis is okay with not doing that for a first date because he can't stand Chipotle. Jewel is volunteering her hand. She said that's a hard no. You guys feel free to play along in the comments. A woman raising her hand says, I am not going there for a first date. A man raising his hand is saying, I would not take a woman on a first date there. Okay, number 6, the movies. How are we feeling about that? Yeah, you're a smart side. Just keep the hand up. It'd be easier for you
Love
to
the
take it.
movies. Love the movies.
Okay,
I think
first date.
movies are a good first date because you can't talk to each other. So we're not getting to know each other this is the first date.
Right.
So the first date,
And for me,
and I've been on a first
I'm not,
date at the movie. And it was
and for me, I'm not a movie person. I don't watch TV. And honestly, the movies is like the perfect place for me to take a nap. Like I will go to sleep. So it's just not.
Okay. All right. The next one is number 7, your house. Are you okay with a date taking place at your
no.
That's a hard no.
Absolutely not.
Sorry.
That's a hard no. That's a
You don't
big
even
no.
know.
That's a hell
No
no.
thanks.
Derek is
Just like I
like,
don't want to go
no.
to his house on the first date either. Like,
Absolutely
I
not.
don't want to go to his house on the first date either. Absolutely not. No, ma'am.
I don't know who you know. You might set me up. I don't know you from
I was
nobody
just
else.
going to say that. Mhm.
Listen,
Yeah,
listen.
that's true too.
And then you got me trapped into a situation where I can't hurry up and get out, and I don't know my way. And yeah, no. Nope.
I don't trust you. I don't know you. You might be a thief.
Y'all got me crying, and we're only
All of the
16
above.
in.
All of the above.
Okay, Jewel said nope to my house. Okay, number 8, any fast food chain. So we're talking McDonald's, Burger King, Carl's Jr. No Jack in the Box. Okay. Derek, are you taking a woman there? Are you okay with taking a woman?
I don't eat fast food.
Thank you.
That's
Me
what
either.
I forgot who I was
Yeah,
talking
I
to.
don't either.
I'm like,
I don't
most of
eat
these
fast
places,
food.
honestly, I don't go myself, so I really don't have an opinion. So if I take someone out, it's going to be something I do. And 2, it's our first date is not going to be eating unless it's Taco Tuesday like today. I do tacos. 'Cause
Yes.
that's my thing. But other than that, I don't do restaurant dates on first
Look,
first date.
You're speaking their
I like
language,
that.
and I want to come back to that too. So please don't forget that thought, Derek.
Oh, I won't. It's been a practice of mine for years, so it's not. I won't forget it.
Okay, good. There's another guy in our group who has the same policy. I wish I remember who that was. By the way, Cy and Derek, you guys know about my group. So my Facebook account was hacked a week ago or something. Yeah. So, and I tried to make myself a moderator in a couple different accounts for that reason, but for some reason I'm struggling. So anyway, that's why there's like nothing happening in there. Okay. So number 9, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. So we're
Only on Sundays for food. To watch the game. I'm actually going to watch the game, not for the food. And
Okay.
if she is an actual basketball fan, not just going with me to watch the game, because that can be annoying. But if you're actually a fan, then that's cool. But in general, that's a place I go by myself or bring my boys.
Okay. Cy's hand is remaining up. I I love it. Kimberly is like hard no. Kat said hard no. Okay.
No, because these are all first dates. Like I
Right.
can go back. I got
Right.
stuff on the menus that I like, but it's first, like your first impression. Like, come on.
Okay.
Right.
I think that that's what I was saying too. Like this is a first date, and I've never met a man or just a person in general who like upped the level of effort that you accepted in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I've never met anybody that did that. Like if what I accepted in the beginning was the bar. You know what I mean? So first date, I gotta see a little level of effort. It don't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be a dinner. Like I like that idea about not going to dinner either.
I agree.
Okay.
But first date, these are not first dates. Some of them are. Some of them are. We ain't get down to the 20s.
Right.
yet.
Okay. We're like almost halfway through
For
the
me, I
list.
don't mind.
Right.
Okay, we have the next one. We have Wingstop. Funny, I just ate there like 2 nights ago. First date.
I'll go from there too.
Shout out to Lemon Pepper.
I'm not
Extra
going there by
baked.
myself.
What'd you say?
Yeah, like it's a
Hell
cool
no,
place
I'm
to
not
go with
going there.
somebody. Like so far, the
I'm not
only place
going
that I'm not
alone.
going is somebody's house.
Right. What we gonna do? Order that at the first date at my house where she's not coming? No.
No, we could order Wingstop and go eat it. We could order it. You could order it, have it when you meet me at the beach for a beach date or something like that. But like, you can't even sit down in Wingstop.
Okay,
Like,
that's
Can we at least
cute.
get Grubhub or DoorDash if we gonna get
There you
have
go.
a-
yeah.
They have sit down.
if you go on that route.
They have sit down locations. They have little booths there.
Yeah. Go out to the park, chill, talk. You know,
I sat
sit
in there and waited for my order to be ready.
Yeah.
That's the type of seating that I've seen in the Wingstops by me. Enough for you to sit and wait for your order to be ready.
Oh, so yeah, we have
Take it
tables
home.
Yeah, you can have a whole date waiting on that.
and
But I
stuff.
love wings. But Wingstop is good. That's my favorite. I like the lemon pepper wings.
We're here on the lemon pepper. I'm telling you, the extra crispy. Okay, number 11, Red Lobster.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay,
Like what?
Tay has a yes
I said,
for Red
who put
Lobster.
that-
How
I
about
said, who put that on there?
You
The
said
cheddar
Red
biscuits
Lobster?
alone.
Did
Red
you know
Lobster
that
is
you
so
can buy those
overpriced
now?
and it's not good food.
Listen,
Like the food
Red
there
just
is
give me
not
just
good.
give me the cheddar biscuits and I'm good. That's all you got to give me from there. Like if it's too expensive, okay, I agree. It is because the prices are ridiculous.
Yonci, it's
I had a really
like
bad
Red Lobster,
experience
but it's
at
not a
Red
good date.
Lobster.
It's not a good date.
I had a bad experience there years ago when I saw rodents and stuff, so I never want to go there again.
She's traumatized.
I'm
Oh
good on
my
that.
gosh. Thank you to everyone who's just tuned in. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you smash that like button if you are enjoying the show thus far. It lets YouTube know to push it out to more people. So if you could take a second to close the chat if you're on your cell phone, click that button. We're talking about places on a first date that the women refuse to go. Tay and I were fans of the cheddar biscuits. You can actually get them at your local grocery store now. They are fabulous. But most everyone is saying no for a first date. Okay, number 12, a buffet.
Never.
I'll go to a
Never.
buffet.
Don't
Yeah.
take me to no. What is no? No.
Where is
what,
the buffet? Whose buffet?
Oh, wait, yeah.
Is it a Sunday brunch buffet? Where is it at? Is it where? It depends. The buffet might.
You know, it was a random Yonci a few years ago. I went out. It wasn't really, I don't know if it's a date or not, but anyway, met this young lady and we went to Whole Foods. And the Whole Foods in Atlanta, especially years ago when it was first built, it was kind of a thing. And it's a food hot bar.
Okay.
So it's not buffet, but it's kind of the same thing. So, and actually that went really well. And it wasn't planned. It was like, hey, I'm over here. Where are you at? What are you doing? And it was just kind of an impromptu thing. So it actually worked out. But it wasn't a planned day like, hey, we're going to go to Whole Foods, for our first date.
Next Thursday, save the date. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
your
I
best.
yeah, if it was something like that, or like I know for a fact that this is buffets are kind of gross. So if it was a place that I know is like,
I get scared
then
of buffets.
I might consider it, but I honestly don't like dinner dates for first dates anyway. So, that's my thing. Like, yeah.
Okay. The next one is IHOP. I'm going to do these two together because they're so similar. IHOP or Denny's? Are we all hard passing on? Tay's thinking about it. I see it in her face. She's so
Nah,
I
first
mean-
watch if I'm gonna do breakfast. At least
I don't.
first watch.
Yeah.
Okay, breakfast might be okay. All right, size hand is still up. It's okay, girl. All right,
I don't
how
mind
about the gym? You guys might think I'm
Absolutely.
weird. I actually
Absolutely.
like that.
I love
That's
working
my
out.
favorite.
There's
Absolutely.
a possibility that
That
we
would
could
be
go to
a
the
big day
gym
for me.
because
I
I
would love
work
that.
out every morning. But again, a first date, I don't know about a first date, like maybe like a meetup prior to the first date, almost like one of those little coffee dates.
Yeah.
See if I even want to have a first date. We could meet at the gym, maybe. Because I look like I'm at the gym. Like, I might want to
I would
get
love
ready
that.
for a
Or you can
date.
take a class, or you can take like a
Yeah.
class together, take a yoga class, and then hang out at the smoothie bar. Like my gym has
Right.
like a little.
Not
You know what I mean? Like
Ratatouille.
Yeah, what if he has a Lifetime Fitness,
love
and you could
that.
be his guest, chill.
Yeah, I've done like a class, but going to the like working out with someone because I'm gonna have to change all the weights. It's just gonna take too long and it's gonna be annoying.
And
You
Derek
ain't gotta
takes
change
work
my
out
weight.
seriously.
You do not have
And
to
there's
change
like
my weight.
there's some like really nice gyms that you can get a day pass to and like take a class. I would love that. That would
Okay.
that
Yeah.
would be dope.
Class I've done hot yoga. Like my first hot yoga class was actually a date, and I almost died, but it turned out to be a good
But
date. No,
you
that
know what too?
that's cool.
Like this is like the thing, right? I feel like everybody's so different that really like I mean you just have to tailor your first date to based on like the likes and dislikes of the other person. You need to have
Gotta
these
communicate.
conversations before you go planning a date, you know? So if the gym isn't something that you do, then you know.
You all in my notes.
Yeah.
I personally like the
Or
gym
anything.
and other activities where we're doing stuff because
Right.
you could talk to someone over the phone and some people are duds in person or they clam up in person. So if we're at least doing an activity, that's going to get me through as opposed to like,
Right.
so
I'm the same way, Yonci. Like if we're doing like something active, like anything. I don't know, gun range. If we go in there to the first date. Now, me personally, if a guy was like, hey, let's go to the gun range on the first date. Listen, he has my attention for a very long time because staying protected, that's hot. What?
Okay. I am not mad. All right, we got the next one. We got church. I was surprised that was even on. Like, who's doing that for a first date though?
You'd be surprised.
No.
Well,
You'd be
not a
surprised.
date, but yeah, seeing how a man worships or woman, seeing what they believe and how real they are, and if they actually walk that walk and talk the talk, like that's something I would need to see.
Okay, so first date, you'd be okay. That's the very first.
I would not do that on the first date. That's just kind of weird to me.
It is
Like I
weird.
can only imagine. I'll be sitting there thinking about like how many first dates he brought to church.
Church.
Like he's
Okay,
like,
yeah,
look at
Right.
brother so and so with his another date.
I
Like,
could not. There was one of the ushers at a church I used to go to, and he used to call this one row chick row because like all the girls would say, I was, that is so wrong. And he was all kinds of married too. I was like, sir, no, leave these people alone.
And I haven't been to church in years, so I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind going.
She said, I'm not mad at it. Okay. Number 17, and this is a big one, and it goes with 18, Starbucks. They have Starbucks and coffee dates. So let's just lump them all together. Tea, coffee, whatever. Are we okay with coffee dates?
That's a pre-date.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
a
that.
pre-date meeting.
I don't even like Starbucks.
I don't like
love
coffee
Starbucks.
dates because like I don't get out much, and when I like. So, I mean that's the only place I ever go is to the coffee shop. So do I want to do that on a date? No, I don't.
Okay,
I work from home, and so when I do get out, like to work somewhere else, it's at a coffee shop. So that's not really something that I want to do on our first date,
Okay.
And plus, like I would like to have a cocktail. Like I'm an adult, I want to like.
Right.
Right.
She said there needs to be something
And
else
last
in
but
my
not
drink.
least, that is a for sure guarantee that you're not kissing on the first date because you're both gonna have stink breath. So like.
Listen. Okay, listen. I have got to share a story. I have got to share just one story. This guy tried to kiss me and like he was leaning in and it's like I could smell his breath coming towards me before I could even turn my head to react. Listen, I was horrified. I don't know what he brushed his teeth with or what happened or maybe if he had kind of an issue, but I was so traumatized that I pretended to sneeze so he wouldn't kiss me. Like,
Oh, I have a
You should have
Now
fell
I'm
out.
traumatized.
share another time, but
Oh, don't forget it. Don't forget it. Okay, we're almost to this list, guys. I know it's a lot. Okay, the next one ice cream dates. I feel like it's kind of along the lines. Ice
I
cream dates.
love ice cream.
I went on an ice cream date for the first date in Brooklyn. Oh, okay, under the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, under the Brooklyn Bridge, the promenade, at night. It was my first time ever being there. We turned the corner, the lights, it took my breath away. And then there's this, we go for a walk, and there's this ice cream shop that's really like old school and famous. It was very crowded. Everybody was there. It was the place to be, I guess. We got our little ice cream roll. It was good. Oh my God. That was one of the best dates I've been on.
I love ice cream dates. I love ice cream dates because it's not just ice cream. You can grab some ice cream and go for a walk. A lot of the places where they have these nice little ice cream shops, they might have like outdoor entertainment and like, like the street performers, or like if you go to a beach and go get ice cream. Like I've done that too. I love ice cream dates, and I love ice cream. So
that's so interesting. Okay, no to coffee.
That's a good first date.
No coffee on the walk, but ice cream on a walk. Okay. Jules says there are a lot of places I would meet someone. She said, I guess I'm scary or old because a lot of these places I would meet. Why can't I read? I would meet someone so they don't sound bad for a first date. Same, Jewel. Jessica says, I love quick coffee or tea dates. Takes the pressure off of a full date. I'm with you too. And one of you said, which we're going to get into a little bit, not liking a dinner date as like a first official date. I'm with you too. We're going to unpack that in a little bit. Ida says, I agree. I'm definitely pushing my own wheels. We cannot ride together. Joel said, I don't want someone picking me up for a date. We live in a scary world. So it depends on where I met you and how long I've known you before. Okay. Right. Number 20. This actually happened to me. Family function. Are we doing family functions for a first date?
That's so weird. Like, I'm just getting to know you. I mean, everybody. I don't know who got drama.
Although I have been invited to a family function. I have too. Like, haven't never gone out with them, and I'm just like, why would you want to bring me?
It felt so common. Like it didn't feel special in my experience, and I said, oh, he does this with all his girls. I said, no, I said, see, his mama probably reels him in because she had great personality and everything. I said, see, no.
She said, well, we're not gonna do. So I have a little story time. Those of you watching, I see y'all. Half of you have liked, a little more than half. I need the rest of y'all to come through with the likes. So go ahead and close the chat box, hit that little like button, and then we're going to continue with story time. Well, there's this guy. We met online, and so we talked back and forth. You just tell something is a little bit off. He wasn't like setting up a date, and I felt like this is back when I still was trying to, maneuver and things like that, as opposed to just letting a man totally do what he needs to do. So I kept kind of pushing. Finally, he agreed to do a meetup. And because he's saying all the right things, but he's not meeting up. So he invites me to come to the beach with him, which would have been cute, but it was his family get together, which I was like, I haven't even met you. And it's like your family is getting together for a bonfire or whatever. But I was like, okay, at least we're going to get to meet. I can make sure you're not catfishing. Because that was the other thing. He would not do video. And I'm like, this is when the show was really big, Catfish. And I'm like, you're not going to get me. He just kept saying, I'm real. So I end up going to the beach, which is like a 40-minute drive because I went during traffic time. Get to the beach. I go to park and I said, okay, I'm here. He's like, okay, meet me on the sand. And I'm like, meet you on this? Ninja, you better come to my car. And I'm telling myself, y'all, this was early in my journey before I knew my worth and asserted myself, okay? He told me to bring my own lawn chair, which I felt a way, and I still did it like a fill in the blank, okay? So I already brought my lawn chair, which I'm like, you can't even bring a lawn chair for me. I'm bitter about that. I'm bitter about the drive. I get there. Now he's playing games, and he's like, I see you. I said, good, then walk over to my truck and get me. And he's like, no, I can see you. Just walk over here. I said, I'm good. I'm out. He said, oh, you're not leaving. I said, why not? He said, because you just paid $8 to park. I said,
you know what?
I had to remember my salvation. And there were a couple of choice words that came out of my mouth that I'm not proud of after I hung up with him. But I had to pull over, call a girlfriend, and I was seeing red. And needless to say, I left, drove home, never spoke to him again. Fast forward 3 months, in walks this guy, and I'm at an event. I've got like prime seating. My friend's the DJ, so he's coming back and forth from the table. And he comes in and starts to tickle me. First of all, I'm like, why are we tickling? And second of all, like, you're
That's
not just
weird.
gonna roll up. Like, it was like nothing. Like, hey, let's recap 3 months ago. And then he tried to blame it on alcohol. He said he was so intoxicated that he wasn't able to walk me to the car. And I said, but have you been drunk for the last 3 months? You didn't know how to text the next day? Nothing. And so I was being petty, but the waitress came by. We had just ordered, my friend and I had just ordered a bunch of food. And so she said, is there anything else you want? She went to get the card and I said, oh, it's on him. And he went, oh, okay. And paid the whole tab. And then proceeded to ask me out to the movies, which I respectfully declined. So that was my story, my crazy experience about a family function, which I never met his family at all. But that was really crazy. Thank you guys for tuning into story time. We will continue with
That's crazy.
They probably didn't even exist.
There was artificial. He was so weird because he was actually just as handsome as his picture. Tall, buff, looked like a football player. He was a private chef. Like, literally, it was like, I don't know what was off about him, but I think that he's so used to women just catering to him, probably because of his look and his stature, that he felt like he could just get away with it. So that's all I was like, I'm good.
You made me upset, like when you said that he wanted you to walk over to him or come to him. I'm like, bruh, like, you know,
and I just paid $8 to park. Like, yeah,
I'm out. I'm good, right? I would have been left.
Like $8 a lot of money.
it was crazy. It was the principle. I'm like, my gas, my childcare, my okay, where are we at? I got all of my feelings. Okay, flashback. So the next one is movie night. Netflix, Hulu. That's basically Netflix and chill, which means you're at someone's house. Can we all agree that's a hell no? Okay. Derek is even saying that's a hell no. Okay. So you're not coming to my space. The next one, somewhere that requires a long drive, aka my horror story, 40 minutes. We're all no, okay.
I did that one time, never will again.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily no on that one.
Okay.
It depends. If I'm already going on a first date with you, I've already had a couple of conversations with you, so I feel like we could make a drive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's fair.
I wouldn't be.
I think it really depends. Just like I would say with most of these things, it really depends on like where you met, the kind of rapport that you built with the person. Because like I've planned dates that were like hiking somewhere that's a little bit remote, and if it's someone that I've been talking to, somebody that might be, like I've already kind of gotten familiar with, but just not gone on a date with, I might consider it. It really depends.
I had
it's one exception to that. For like, I live in Miami, and so Fort Lauderdale is about a 45-minute drive. But I really enjoy going out there. So when I've gone on first dates in Fort Lauderdale, I was going anyway.
Okay.
So it wasn't specifically, but since I'm here, let me go ahead or plan on coming. Let's try to set up a time where we can actually meet. So that's the exception to the rule. But like, I'm not going to Tampa or Orlando, or something crazy like that.
I had a guy drive.
I agree with that because I just moved to Miami. Oh, I'm sorry, Yonci.
Oh, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I just moved to Miami from New York. I've been here for a year, and like,
congrats.
Thank you.
This is year 2.
But anyway, it's a year 2 for you. I moved here in August, so it's like a little over a year for me. But I agree. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Aventura. And that's about the furthest I'll go. That's why I said it depends, because the furthest I'll go is an hour, and I happen to live somewhere where I don't meet. I live in I don't live in a black neighborhood. I live in a heavily Hispanic neighborhood, so I don't meet
people. This is
people.
Miami, of course you do.
So I live in a Cuban neighborhood, so I don't meet people like when I go right outside. So most of the people that I end up meeting are in like Broward. So I have to go up there or North Miami. So it's usually like 45 minutes. So I get it. I get it.
We get everything, but the thing about it is, sometimes you want to meet people outside of the area, because for me, I don't want to meet somebody that live in the next building over, or at my gym, which is 2 blocks away. Like, I live in a very walkable area of town, so I need an escape. Or, when someone does come visit me after a first date or longer, then I live somewhere exciting that people like to come.
Right.
So a lot of stuff like if you meet me here, we can walk and do 50 different things,
Right.
Between here, Wynwood and Edgeworth. So and Brickell. So it's one of those types of things, but I don't have a problem with going if I'm already going somewhere. I'm not going to like Kendall, like way somewhere.
I live in Kendall, bruh.
He's not coming out there. So
See, when I told you I live far, I live in Kendall.
That's far. Yeah, and I don't have a reason. Like Broward, it's more of our culture in Broward. So, I am with it going to Broward because I get to hear hip hop, and other stuff that I like. But going out of my way somewhere, Fort Myers or something, nah, I'm not doing that.
Nobody wants to come to Kendall, Yonci.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
And it's just as far as for a lot of them, it's just the other way. But no, I'm not coming.
I had a guy who drove over an hour. It was like either an hour and a half or something like that. He was really excited to meet me. And he was someone that I already was like, you guys know when you agree to someone, but you're kind of looking at their picture like, well, if I squint and you try to justify, I was like on the fence, but he was so gung-ho to meet me. So I was like, okay. So I let him come and we went for tacos. Y'all, he pulled his phone out to show me something and it was like the horror movie. I just saw dirty fingernails. And I just remember and I love the talk. I couldn't even eat my food. I just wanted it to end. I never wanted to see him again. And all I could think of was this man just drove over an hour and I don't even want to talk to him right now. Let alone after this date. I felt so bad.
And he picking those tacos up with those fingers too.
Oh my God! Oh, my stomach hurts now.
I'm gonna ask that.
And he's showing he's like,
because I'm getting a mental picture, and it's like, can you just imagine somebody holding a taco with dirt in their nails? And I'm like, bruh,
that's what I got. That's what I was like, yo.
I don't know, that's why first dates is so tricky. You really I always feel like I always look at it if it's somebody that I haven't really spoken to a lot or gotten to know enough. It has to be I have to have a quick exit plan. It has to be a situation where, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 2 hours. You know what I mean?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I have to be
Say that again?
I said I'll be right back going to the bathroom and then I'll just be out. I can't.
Oh,
That's
I wanted to do that on the date before.
That's actually terrible.
If you're disrespectful and crazy, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you.
Right.
Well, yeah, but then you could be like, yo, no.
That's different.
Or if you make me feel extremely
different than dirty
uncomfortable.
nails.
oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God. So Jessica's asking, the question is, did you tell him? I didn't. I actually used my line. I have a line I'm retired, obviously, from dating. But it was, I don't feel the type of connection I need to feel to sustain a romantic relationship. I'm so sorry.
I don't know if it's something like that. I think I would tell him.
Yeah,
But I didn't tell the guy with the bad. I didn't tell the guy with the really bad breath. I didn't say anything to. I mean, I tried, but
Okay, so
it was bad.
let's ask this question for everyone. Would you tell in my situation or hers with the bad breath? Tay mentioned the bad breath one. Derek just looks trying to. Would you tell?
He's a grown man.
I don't think I would tell unless someone
hygiene.
specifically
I'm sorry.
asked me. I had a guy ask me before, after a while of communicating, he said, I felt your body recoil when you kissed me. What are your thoughts? And I was like, I had to admit, I'm not really physically attracted to you. That was tough to say. That was really hard. That was my 2-guy phase where I was like, maybe personality wins. I was like,
I remember when it was me.
I'm usually honest, but it really depends on what it is. If it's something that I feel it would be a disservice for me not to give them feedback, I'm gonna tell them, but I probably won't say it right there because that would be kind of awkward and I don't know about my safety. So I would let them know later. If I'm no longer interested, I might say something to them. The bad breath guy, I didn't say anything because I don't know. First of all, I was the first date I went on since,
What's that?
I kept dropping hints. He was the guy for me.
But I did. I was dropping.
Yeah, that part. Because
I went to the bathroom. I said I have to use I have to use the bathroom. I went in his bathroom. I said, hey. And from the bathroom, I said, what kind of toothpaste do you use?
Let me tell you guys a
You
story.
said
'Cause it was
what?
really bad.
What
So
you say, Kat? I mean, Shantae. No, what you say?
so he act
Okay, Kat is talking, so I guess I'll wait. Yeah.
It's glitching, I think. I think that she can't hear you because it happened twice. And just now she said, "What did you say?" And your response didn't come through mine until a couple seconds later. So I think there's like a weird glitch.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because at one point Kat was talking and her picture wasn't moving, and I was like, "Who's talking?" But it was. Okay, so Tay, what was your story about the bathroom?
Basically, yeah, the guy with the bad breath. I had went into his bathroom and was talking to him from his bathroom. I was going through his cabinet and I said, "Hey, what toothpaste do you use?" You know, I said, I'm actually thinking about, and I played it off real cute because I said, "Hey, I need to, before you take me home, I need to kind of drop by the drugstore to get me some toothpaste. What kind of toothpaste do you use?" That's how I asked. And he was like, "Oh, I use this." Listen, it was bad. It was all bad. I could smell his breath coming
ask him to show
towards
you
me.
how you do it?
Oh,
Like, I'm
God,
trying to learn how to
bad.
brush my teeth. How did we do it?
It was bad, man. He had to have some kind of issue.
You offer him some gum or something.
Oh my God.
I mean, no,
Blondie says,
I'm being serious though.
Matter
Like,
of fact, I think
offer
it
him
was me.
Mentos, gum.
Yeah, that's what I did. So
Okay.
on my day, it was really bad because so he had just moved to Boston, and so we agreed to meet somewhere, but then I was gonna drive to the next place. And our first plans ended up getting messed up because we were gonna go somewhere outdoors, and it started kind of drizzling a little bit. So we went in the car pretty quickly after we met, right? And his breath was so bad that I had to drive with the windows open, and it was kind of cold and rainy, like this is Boston weather. Okay, so it's raining and it's cold outside, and I drove with my windows all the way down, and he's like, "Aren't you a little cold? Like we're gonna get, the car's gonna get wet." I was like, yeah, no, I'm like kind of nervous. I'm hot." And it was just so bad. And then I pulled over, I went into the gas station, I got a pack of gum. He declined when I offered them. He was like, "No, I'm all set. I'm all set." I'm
He
like,
would have to take that gum, child.
And I bet he tried to kiss her. I bet he tried to kiss her.
Sai, you're muted.
He is taking that gum because this date is already over. This relationship is not going to
I'm
happen.
shoving
He's
it
taking
down
his
his
gum
throat.
because we got to get to where we're going.
You guys, there is a test
Listen.
that I heard about, and it actually works. If you take your hand, make a fist like this, and literally, obviously, wash your hands first.
I heard that.
Lick the
I do
back.
that all the time.
Let that thing dry. You will smell the
I
saliva.
do.
If it has an odor, your breath has an odor. So if you're none of this, like, try that before you're meeting somebody or gonna kiss somebody. I'm sorry, I have to read this comment. Blondie says she met up with a guy for a first date. He had no bottom teeth. I had no idea.
Oh.
Hey, yo,
Oh,
who
God.
man is this? Come get you.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, these people can't be real. Like, it's just so traumatizing because, like, when I remember even having a thing of lotion with me, and I remember putting the lotion like under my nose and not rubbing it in on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I rubbed it like all over my nose, and I wanted him to say something, but his breath was coming towards me like an attack. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bruh, like I had put the lotion like all over here, like right there, and I didn't rub it in. I was like, oh, yeah, oh, something on my nose. Oh, yeah.
Y'all are so nice. I don't know, cause I instantly. What's that smell? I told someone before, like, your breath
like something was
stank.
dying in your stomach.
They say I told him your breath smells, and then he was like, "Oh, dang, for real? Yeah, for real." Like,
And then where do you go after that?
next time I seen him, he had gum, and his breath was like, good.
There you
To
go.
a better
Like,
place.
there
So
you
I
go.
guess it's better to tell the truth, yo, and shame the
Yeah, it's
devil.
nasty. I told another guy his breath stank. I'm not kissing you. Like, y'all too old to. I'm not playing with you. Who man is this? It's not my man. Who man is this?
So PSA.
I'm not that nice anymore, but yeah, I was trying to be nice to that guy because I did kind of like him, but I didn't talk to him anymore after that.
Nope, he should know better. Hurt his feelings.
Right.
So just another PSA, guys. Flossing after meals. You don't want food to build up in there, okay? I used to work in a dental office. You want to use a tongue scraper, okay? It looks like a little spoon with the inside missing.
Yes,
You
Lord.
scrape as far back as you can go. You scrape. Of course, regular brushing and hydrate. Lots and lots of water to clear you out from the inside. Just putting gum in your, like, some people's breath is so bad that eating something, it just mixes in with the bad odor. Y'all got me laughing so hard my nose is running. This is not cute.
My stomach hurt. Y'all talk about the bad breath. My stomach is hurting.
Oh, y'all, she said that the dude showed up with no bottom teeth. My cousin had a date show up with no legs.
God.
That happened to me, but it was a top teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Stop the mess,
You should have
man.
fell out.
I dated a man with no top
It
teeth.
was such a catfish. It was my first. It was
I
my
would
first
have
dating
fell
app
out.
experience, y'all. He showed up. He showed up with no teeth, no hairline. He had hair in his pictures. So I'm sitting there, and I actually said something. I was like, "You look so different." He's like, "Yeah, those pictures are like from 10 years old when I first joined." I'm like,
See?
"So you've been
See?
on the app for 10 years and you didn't change your pictures?" And I'm like, "It must have been a real rough 10. He was missing 3 teeth in the front."
Oh,
Wait,
he
man.
probably got
where
clocked
you
by the
what
last
state you in?
girl
I
who
wonder
got
if it's the same
catfished.
dude I was dating.
Out, y'all. He was coked out. No, it
First of
gets
all,
better. Right?
I am running and screaming. I'm not.
No, it gets better. And then we go into this little restaurant, this little hole in the wall, and he starts telling everybody that it's our anniversary so that people can buy us shots.
Oh my God.
People bought us shots.
You're
They bought
like,
us,
this is the
4
anniversary
shots.
of you getting ghosted because it's about to happen.
It was horrible. It was my first dating app experience.
Y'all, I don't know what you would do, but my cousin showed up to a date and the man had no legs. And he did not disclose that. And she was like, I wasn't prepared. She said, I wasn't prepared. And then she went back and looked at the pictures and they were all strategic. You know, he was sitting in every photo, but I said, you gotta prepare people. I had a guy who was like 200 pounds heavier when we met up. He refused to come on camera. He was actually in the group, so I felt like a little bit of comfort, which I always tell people, don't feel comfortable just because he's in the group, but he had been in the group for a while. And it didn't dawn on me he had not updated his pictures in a very long time. But he went from looking like Chris Brown in his photos to someone from the Klumps family, and got out the car and was just bold. And I was just like, it was so it was so awkward because we had chemistry over the phone, and then in person I was like, one thing is not like the other. Like this does not match. And he blamed not doing the screening video chat on him wanting a haircut. That was the day where I refused to not video chat from that day on. And so some men were like, I'm not good on video, whatever. I'm like, it's a deal breaker. I will not waste the cuteness. I will not waste the pretty. I will not waste an outfit if I have not verified. So that was my trauma. Okay, we're still on this list, y'all, and then we have a couple questions about this stuff. Were you gonna say something, Tay?
I thought the list was done.
You said what?
I thought the list was done.
Oh, girl, I know. I forgot all about it. Okay, the next one, that was something that requires a long drive. So we have bowling. Is anyone anti-bowling? I had a client who was like, I refuse to do bowling, and I let people know up front.
I don't like bowling, but I mean, I wouldn't do it on a first date. I would probably do that on like a second or third date.
Okay.
Probably not the first date.
That's
Plus, I'm really competitive. You don't want to see that side of me on the first date.
I went bowling on the first date, and it was really nice. It turned out really nice.
I would actually like that because it's an activity. So I'm a big fan of activities. Okay,
Or
what about
not.
the disco?
And it doesn't mean. And the thing about it is, right? We're talking about all these things that we might not do, we wouldn't do, whatever. But I mean, if somebody took me out to any of these places, I would still be very much appreciated. I would still very much appreciate it, and I would try to have a good time. But if it were up to me, no, I would not go bowling on a first date.
Okay. What about a nightclub? The discoteca.
I'm too old for that.
I'm good, man. I can't do the nightclub. I can't. I just can't. I don't have the energy. It's too many people. It's too like. You know what? I'm at the age now where I don't like a lot of loud stuff.
It is loud in there.
I can't even have people bumping into me because now I'm ready to fight. Like, and then when I'm drunk and just no.
You ever had someone with really bad breath in a nightclub and they're screaming in your ear because the music is loud and you have the screaming plus the bad breath like that and the alcohol. What a
like you trying to kill me, sir? Like, bruh.
All right, guys, we're down to the last 4. Hookah bar.
I would do that. Yeah, hookah bar. I ain't never been to one, so I would do it.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I went to one, I think, Derek, it was in Atlanta. I think the last time I went, I want to say it was Atlanta.
Yeah,
Believe it.
I think it was because it was open during COVID. Everyone was all on top of each other and their feet, they were sitting up on the booths with their feet where people sit down. And I'm like, oh, and it was just smoky and it was not a good time for me. I don't smoke hookah, so I was like, whatever. Okay, is anyone else anti-hookah lounge on the panel?
I'm not getting no hookah, but some hookah lounges are nice. Some of them are nice out here, so that would be a nice place to go. But I wouldn't get the hookah.
The one I went to was.
And I'm in Florida. We go outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have some really nice. They have some really nice ones that don't have like the music blasting too loud, or because that's really what it is, right? I don't smoke hookah, but also if the music is blasting, like how are you gonna have a conversation? You know what I mean? So
that part.
I mean, if it's like a grown vibe and the music is on, but it's kind of low, you can still hear each other talking, like maybe something like that.
Right.
But
okay.
Probably not.
We have a bar. You're going just for drinks. So this person just invited you out for drinks. It's clear it's not dinner.
Yeah.
We're all good with that. Sai's hand is still up. Sai said, no, we're not doing drinks.
I've done that. I went and that was another fun date. So we met up at the bar, had drinks, and then we went to this food truck festival that was outside. They had a DJ. It was pretty dope. It was a dope vibe.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink, so.
Oh, there you go. That would defeat the purpose. Okay, number 27. This actually happened to me. Waffle House. It was me, my date, and a giant cockroach in my booth, running past my back. I screamed.
Wow.
He did not try to kill it. He literally was like, it's not a big deal. Again, I had to remember that I was saved and a child of God because the things that I wanted to say.
So he probably got roaches.
That part. Get out my head, Shantae.
He also, I discovered, had so much plaque, it looked like he bit into a mayo sandwich.
Oh no, see?
If he said it wasn't a big deal and it was crawling on you, he has roaches. Oh my God.
Wait, these are online people that you've met online? Like you met on dating apps and then you ended up meeting up? This is why I don't date. I promise you, this is why I don't date online. Like,
but see, I met my guy there and he's amazing. So you just gotta sift.
You bet you kissed a lot of frogs, child. I ain't got that much time.
Listen. I'm good on dating.
Like
For right now, it's just too weird out there.
Gas is expensive.
I screamed and jumped
It's not
up.
a big deal.
This man continued to eat his food. I'm literally traumatized because I see it run by me and I screamed like I feel like a normal person would. And everybody just kept moving like nothing. And I was like, I felt like I was in a weird movie because I was like, this is not normally you turn and be like, oh my God, there's a lady screaming in the next booth. What is it? And everyone just kept on.
You must have been in the hood or something. Where were you?
She's at the Waffle House. Where else are they?
Okay, yeah.
That is there. This is old hood right there.
I waited in the car until he finished eating, and then we parted. But he continued to eat his food. I was like, I'm good.
Him and that roach would have been right there enjoying dinner. I'm good. No. Oh my God.
That was my second and final experience with Waffle House.
I wonder if he broke off a little piece and gave the roach some when you left.
Bruh, because that clearly they was homies, right? See? Talk about it ain't a big deal. He probably brought the roach to the Waffle House with them on the date. Listen.
I talked to somebody else and he was like, hey, it's just part of the Waffle House experience. I said, the hell it is? The hell it is. I can deal with a greasy menu, maybe a rude waitress, but roach, if I'm worrying if something's going to crawl into my purse, that's the problem. Or scurry over my foot. No. Okay, the very last one before we answer all the fun questions is a sports event. I am absolutely signing up for that. I would love that.
Yeah, I would do that. I would.
I'm not even sure, but I would do a sporting event.
Yeah, did they? I wonder if they meant
Even if it's not like
to watch.
Even it's not even
if
it's not like a pro sport.
Yeah, I would even have fun with like a college game.
Yeah.
Science saying no on this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
No baseball though. Even if baseball is boring. No.
I'm gonna say no because I think that with sporting events, because I pretty much only do NFL and NBA, and I actually want to have fun, and I don't know if you're going to enjoy it like I am, or we're going to be into the same type of thing. So it's one of those things I would rather go with friends or by myself for a first date. I'm not saying later, but I'm saying if I don't know you, just like, for example, if I take you to a concert, I don't know if you like this certain thing or not. And, you know, I might like this art and you might be like, eh. So we are on two different planes, you know, so it's more.
Or you're a boring concert person.
Yeah, get to know the person. And if I'm like, even though I'm on this right now, I'm actually watching the Lakers game, and miraculously I'm not screaming. So if we're going to a Lakers game, I'm going to be yelling the whole time. I'm not going to really pay you any attention, you know. So for me, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, what's your reason, Sai? What's your reason for the hard pass?
It's a first date.
But what makes it bad for a first date?
Well, I don't know anything about like the sport. So,
Me either.
I'll just be there. I'll be there. I'll eat, but it's like, okay, now what? I can always play along, like, oh, okay, that's the team yelling, yeah, okay, yeah, but like, I don't want to do that.
Have you been to like a sporting event? Yeah, okay. There's some people who aren't into sports haven't, but
the box
it's like the whole vibe is what I like. Even if it's a team that I don't like or I'm not into, the whole vibe of it is fun to me. So
when we'd be in the skyboxes or whatever, I've left and not even known who won because I'm just excited about the food cart and the different little activities. And, you know, that's the thing. All right, so I'm going to circle back to Derek, what he was saying at the beginning. You said no dinner dates unless it's tacos.
Me neither.
For the first date. And there was another guy. Oh, I remember who it was. I'm not going to say his name. Well, Corey. They don't know who Corey is. But Corey was adamant. Like, no. Do you know what we're talking about? No dinner dates. So what are your thoughts? If you could break that down and let me know in the comments if you guys agree with Derek or you have a different thought. And also, we're just shy of a couple likes, getting them up to the number of viewers. So if you haven't smashed that like button, go ahead and close the chat box, click that like, and then come on back to the chat. All right, y'all gotta stop making me laugh so my nose will stop running. Okay, go ahead, Derek.
For me, number one, a lot of times dinner dates are like an interview, right? And I just don't want to sit across the table from someone. It's kind of like I'm almost stuck, right? So, for example, let's be realistic. Most people we connect with, it doesn't, you know, we don't go on a lot of second dates. So they're stuck with a person an hour or two, and chances are you're probably never going to see the person again. Then you got to get into, oh, how are you? What do you like? What do you do? Blah, blah. You know, just a bunch of stuff. I don't know your personality. I don't know if you are fun. I don't know if you're interactive. I don't know if you are mannerable. I can't see you outside of a sit down and looking cute, and you probably on, you know, trying to be on your phone taking pictures of food and other stuff. And I'm a content creator, so I do it too. So I'm not going to even give you full attention. So if we're doing something, which is, I mean, I have a whole long list of stuff to do that's not dinner, like roller skate, something like roller skating.
Yeah, we just did that.
It's very simple. And honestly, roller skating, when you two skate rentals, well, I have my own, but two skate rentals in the rink pass per night is not that cheap. That could eat you a little, you know, a little bit. Ice skating, even going to the beach or going to a cocktail lounge, just something, or just depends on where you live. There's all types of festivals. One of my favorites is going to the farmers market. We have outdoor ones here that has a lot of stuff besides just food. So it's entertainment. There's other stuff. There's food trucks. I mean, there are so many things that you can get to know people besides just sitting down and just having a back and forth interview session like you're on TV. And that is, for me, boring a long waste of time, because also with those other dates, you can hit the eject button really quickly. You can be like, all right, well, it's fun, but then if it goes well, you can, you
Extend
can
it.
transition to something else. Like, okay, we go to a cocktail bar. Oh, we in Wynwood, so let's go to this place. Go to this place, because I tend to find a lot of different places. So my date can turn into one place or it can turn into 10. Depends on the type of night we're having and if we are both like feeling each other. And so that's how I can gauge if she's interested, because if she keep coming along to different stuff, she's into me. But I don't really know if I'm taking her to, Sexy Fish or something. I don't know if she's actually interested in me or she just wanted the dinner experience. I really no clue.
Right.
And plus I'm not a foodie. I eat, for calories and to sustain, it doesn't give me pleasure. So that's another thing. It's like we need to do something we both are interested in, not just you.
You hit something that I definitely wanted to touch upon. When I hear women describing, like the way they describe their preferences when it comes to first dates, a lot of times it sounds like they are going through like a bucket list or they want this experience, and it's on the dime of the guy, as opposed to, hey, I met this guy Derek, I think he's amazing, and let's go do something together. So that's my thought. Like if I was a guy and I was watching, women giving their thoughts on where they would and wouldn't want to go on a first date, my first question would be like, does she even like me? So my question to the panel
it's not the and just keep in mind it has nothing to do with price, because that's not an issue. It's just I choose to spend my money differently.
Right.
Yeah, I could go on $200, $300, $400 dates every week or two. Whoop-de-doo.
So
but I would rather take a trip.
And not to put Derek on blast, but Derek is not lying. It is not a financial issue. I hope I'm okay saying that, Derek. Because some guys say it, and it's like,
I'd rather do something else.
Oh yeah, right. You're just trying to. No, like he would. You would catch him on a next day flight to Tahiti somewhere before he's gonna go take a woman. And
I might go tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah. What were you?
So I don't like. I don't like dinner dates either. I feel like it's such an intimate thing to share a meal in that way. Like there's other ways to go and have something to eat or take something out and go to a park or go to a food truck or a festival. Like that's less intimate than sitting in front of each other at a dinner table for the first time you meet them. Like if it was, like I said, if it depends on how you met them, if you've been acquainted with this person before and this is like the first official date. For those same reasons, but also like I love cooking and I feel like I'm new to Atlanta. I don't really know a lot of good places here, but the places that I've tried I didn't like. I like my food and like it's really hard to beat that. So I don't really like I don't like going out to dinner. That's not my thing.
For me, that's this is not the same as dating, but I felt like that for birthdays. Like people are like, "Ooh, what do you want to do for your birthday?" And I feel like everybody says going out to dinner. And I feel like unless you're living in a third world somewhere where it's like a luxury to go out to dinner, it's not like that's not special. I mean, not that we're going to medieval times, but unless it's like a dinner like that, where there's an activity or some kind of it's incorporated in. So here's my question. Oh, Patrice said, "What about Dave and Buster's?" That's a good one. Is anyone opposed to Dave and Buster's?
I like Dave and Buster's.
I
like it.
First date.
It's cute.
That's a fun first date.
If they still got a bowling alley in there, then we could go bowling. But there's not really much that I do at Dave and Buster's anymore. I take my kids.
There's a lot going on at
I drink like that.
I'll
have
a
drink, but I don't drink like that.
So,
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yes, I.
It's too
on that list I did when I was younger. Like really,
Right.
I remember going when I was 8 years old with my parents, and like it was like everyday weekend thing. And then I got older, and I'm like, this is just like McDonald's. Dave and Buster's, all high school with my friends. Like it's just certain things like I've done, and I'm just like, no.
So this is what I want to know. How would you do this in real? Because we can all talk about it in theory, like, oh, I would never go. But let's say you meet someone, okay? We'll just say Derek just because he's there and it's easy. Let's say you meet Derek. You guys have video chatted. He's not catfishing. He is a whole vibe. You're totally connecting. And hypothetically, he says, I want to take you to XYZ. And it's one of the places that is on your hell no list. How are you telling Derek, no, I will not go to Dave and Buster's, Chili's, whatever. Who would like to respond? Okay, Kimberly.
I don't like Chili's. I think it's nasty. Is there someplace else we could go and stay?
Spit on my wall.
I don't like Chili's. No, I don't like Chili's. I don't prefer Chili's. I mean, you know, like if Chili's was one, you said Chili's?
Yeah,
I don't like
hypothetical.
Can you on that really quickly? The only thing I would say is, why don't you just say, can we just choose somewhere else? You don't have to go into
It's nasty.
Like you don't have to do all, like you could just be like, hey, it's not really my thing. Can we go somewhere else? And
the reason why I said that is because the last time I said, can we do something else? The follow up was like, well, why? What's wrong with this? So just like,
yeah, that's
I don't like Chili's. It's nasty.
Yeah,
well, that's true too.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't have to even go into all that.
Mm.
So
But I would just be like, no, thank you. Like I don't want to go.
My thing is, right, with this like list of places, and like, first of all, let me just say this, right? I really believe that the Cheesecake Factory lady, I feel like a lot of these clips are just people looking for clout and who are doing things intentionally for likes and to go viral. I think majority of these situations, that's the case, because people have really, like that's people post for that reason. Like they literally come out with their cell phones to try to record these situations, and I believe a lot of it is fake, and that they do it for clout. Let me just put that out there and say that first and foremost.
Kat, I will tell you, it's real. I date women.
Exactly.
I'm not saying no. I'm not suggesting that it doesn't happen. I'm not suggesting that it doesn't happen. I believe that. I believe it. But I think that these situations that are being recorded, a lot of them are for clout.
Oh yeah,
including her.
That's for clout. But it's
so I wanted to say that I'm not discounting that it does happen. I believe that it does. I've actually met women who are like that since moving to Atlanta, so I believe that it happens. But I think most of it is clout. But the second thing I was gonna say is like I just don't get like how people find themselves in these situations, because shouldn't there be like a conversation about what you're going to do on a first date? Like I've never been on a first date where we have a conversation about what I like, what he likes, what we might like to do together, and like kind of map things out together. Like I've never been on a date where the guy was like, be ready at 8:00. And because you don't know, like for me, I'm a picky eater. I eat pretty healthy. Like I'm not gonna go to any of these places, not because I'm bougie and I want something expensive. I'm definitely not, but because I eat, like I won't have anything to eat. I'll probably have to eat salad or something like that. You know what I mean? So, or people have like different allergies or different experiences. Like I said with Red Lobster and the damn roach, I'm not going there. So like I would think that you would have a conversation about what your ideas are for a first date, or if that conversation, if that person doesn't bring it up before the date, that you would ask and say, well, what were you thinking? Like what kind of date? Because I need to know how I'm going to dress. Am I going to wear heels? Am I going to wear sneakers? So like something like Dave & Buster's, like, okay, like are you going to pick me up and we're going to show up at Dave & Buster's and I'm going to be wearing heels? Like that's a conversation that you would have in advance. So like how are people even being put in these positions? I don't understand.
So
he said in the beginning of the video that he had reservations. However, she had taken longer than expected, and she got done when the reservations were when they're supposed to be at the restaurant. So he said,
I didn't see that part.
I heard that too.
And he still
I didn't see any of that. All I saw was the list. And I just was like, when I looked at the list, I'm like, well, hold up. The only thing I don't agree with on here is my house and your house or whatever. I mean, we ain't doing nobody's houses. That's a no.
Well,
but some of these places I ain't got no problem with.
There are two separate ones. There's the video that Sai is talking about, and then there's the list that supposedly was a collaboration with women. But as she was saying that he made a reservation, she missed it because she was late, and then that was his second option, right, Sai, or his fallback?
I need somebody to send me the whole video so I can see, because I didn't know it was a video. I just thought it was a list.
Go on TikTok and use like the
I had an experience too with the guy that he, like, I always let people know I don't watch TV. I don't really watch movies. I might, like, if we're like dating and there's a movie you want to watch, like I'll take one for the team. I'll go, but that's not like, for me, that's not like for me, I'll fall asleep. Like you'll be really disappointed. So I always let people know. And there's this one guy, he kept inviting me to the movies, and I'm like, I don't, thank you. That's not something I want to do. And then like later on, he was like, well, I've asked you out on a date X amount of times. I'm like, yeah, but you kept asking me to the movies, and I've told you numerous times that this is not something that that I want to do on a first date. It's just not. So that's the thing.
So
I just want to maximize my time, and I feel like sitting at dinner or sitting in the movies is a confinement for a few hours. And when we could be doing something that, again, first date, zones, we could be getting to know each other, or we could be getting to know getting to know each other and just being active and doing different things. Like
Right.
bowling was cool, golfing is cool, going out and about and walking around. I don't drink like that anymore, so bar hopping and bar crawls is not my big thing. But just I feel like being confined to a dinner or a movie is just whack for a first date. We have to be like creative and think of something else. All my best first dates, we were out and about doing something cool, and we had follow-up dates. You know what I'm saying, from there.
So,
like
Sai, you were saying, if Tay wanted to find that video, she could look for the hashtag. Is it woman refuses to get out of car at Cheesecake Factory or something along those lines? I'm assuming.
You can just put in cheesecake, and I think
At this point,
That's true.
Cheesecake.
That is true.
I'm gonna get off here.
We got a guy in the comment because I want to ask the guys. Derek is holding it down, but all the other guys I want to ask too. When you are asking a woman out, are you getting her lists of likes and dislikes before you come up with it, or are you just coming? See, he already said no. Or are you just asking her to go somewhere? Derek, what are your thoughts? And if we have any other guys in the comments, I want to know.
So for me, I'm more, because I do a lot of different stuff. And so when I meet someone, I ask them, do they want to go? In most cases, honestly, I'm going to go whether they go or not. Right. So it's a good way to, if we match in this particular thing. So like if it's Thursday night, I'm going roller skating and I meet somebody I like, hey, you want to go skating? If they don't, fine. When I'm ready to do something else, but I'm not going to just do something that I don't really want to do because I've listened to the list of stuff they want to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So whatever I do on a date, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But if you were to plan it together, wouldn't you pick something that you can both enjoy?
Well, for me, I believe that, like I think someone said, how you start is how you end. And so if I'm supposed to be the leader of the relationship, I need to lead and make the date. And so it's your option whether or not you choose to follow. If you don't, it's okay. It's not like, I'm not gonna be like, well, why don't you want to go? I'm just like, okay, cool. Let's catch up on something else. It's not like I'm upset.
But I'm not saying you both have to plan it together, but to kind of get an idea of what she likes and what you like, and you can kind of like
through conversation
make plans based on that. Like, is that?
Yeah, well, I'm obviously going to, by the time, before we even go out, I'm going to know like what she does on a daily basis, what she likes, this, that, and the other. If she only eats food and travels, which is 90% of dating apps, I can't help you, but if you have other interesting hobbies or like other stuff, that's something we can vibe with, you know what I mean? But just doing something because, she likes, steak dinners. I don't really eat steak like that. So I'm not doing it, and so that's the thing. Is like, as the person that is supposed to be the leader, I have to take control, take your input, and then make a decision. Like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this or this. Would you like to come? I'm giving you 2 or 3 options. I'm not just saying we're going here and you can take. It's more like I'm saying we can do this, right? So, for example, one day, I'm into cars. So one day it was a car show. And she was down because she likes cars too. Every woman on this panel, I don't know if you like cars or not. I love cars. So we had a blast. So it just depends on what things you're into.
She said,
I like that.
That's fair and mature. I feel like that's the list. Okay, I feel like what Kat said, the Cheesecake Factory lady, I feel like it's fake. The list, I feel like, has been comprised of people under 30. I could be wrong. I'm over 40. I mean, I see you shaking your head, Derek. The people who are over 35,
I'm over 42, and I hear the same stuff.
I mean, that are doing that list that are over 35. I feel like they're bugging, and they're gonna have a rough time. I've run into a lot of more mature people though, who have a more mature outlook on things. Like Sai said, I've done these things when I was 20. A friend of mine on Facebook just answered to the list because I posted it there too, and she said Her first date with her husband, who she's been married to for the past 26 years, was at Applebee's. But they were 20 something years old when they went. So, yeah, that was a perfect first date for a 20-year-old. And look, y'all married for 26 years. Hallelujah. God bless you. If she got divorced and was out on a dating thing, I don't think she would accept Applebee's today. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a mature approach to dating. As mature adults, you talk, you meet, what do we like, what can we do you throw it out in the air, and you don't waste too much time, because everybody doesn't have that much time to waste. So why continue to do things that you don't like? Derek said why would I do something that I don't want to do just to go on a date with someone? That means me and that person, we might not be too, might not have too many more things that we can do together that we would like to do. So it might be a little bit of a waste of time. So I agree with that.
I'm thinking
I always say I have more money than time, and I don't have a lot of money. So I just look at it that way. You have to use your time wisely, because you can go out with a lot of people, but you got to pick people that you're willing to spend quality time with. It's not time, it's quality time. So it's like find things in common, and be fun, be entertaining, and be light. Like, dinner is so stiff and yawn fest, It's like going to, a job interview.
The only thing I'll say to that is that this is why what all of you all just described, this is why the vetting process is so important. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, it's something as, minor, to me, in my opinion, as to where, hey, what do you like to do? This, that, and the third. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a cool person, but I don't like to be asked 21 questions either. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to ask me when I'm trying to get this job I really want, but it's another to just constantly ask me questions. Because at work, I'm a customer service rep, so I have to talk and answer questions all day. So by all means, can we just do something fun? You know what I'm saying? Like, if, somebody like Derek was to, ask me out or something like that, I'm like, yo, let's go travel to Egypt. Let's do something different. I want to get out the States. And I'm actually thinking about moving out of the US at some point. Let's do something different. Let's go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something out of the norm. I get it.
So, I just posted this earlier. So, I just posted something about this earlier. So you
got to go overseas, but I'm just saying the option is there.
Okay.
So I would say, hey, Derek, would you like to go to Egypt? Hey.
So are you inviting me, or
I was going to say,
wait, you said what?
I'm like, are you paying? Are you inviting me, or so who's doing the inviting?
I think my connection is messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Dang, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Right, the feed went out, right? Hilarious.
Love it, though. Passport, so, I pay my way, you can pay yours.
But that's reasonable, though. So but that's completely reasonable. But this is not on the men's end what we hear. They want to go out the country, but they want you to pay for it. And my thing about travel is, I'm paying for the hotel anyway. You got to at least buy your ticket. You need to at least
exactly. I agree with that. I completely agree.
You'll be surprised how many times that there's a lot of people like, okay, cool, ticket bought like immediately. But like, for example, I went to the Usher concert in Vegas a couple like a year and a half ago.
I was supposed to go.
It was
I want to go.
I told you about it.
Yep.
So I invited, I had a short list, and I was like, okay, who can go? All you have to do, I have the hotel, I bought the tickets. All you got to do is show up. You ain't got to do nothing else. You would be surprised.
Look at here.
I'm just saying.
Somebody who paid like that had anything they want.
As soon as I asked her, she was like, I'm buying a ticket right now. The plane ticket.
I would have gone, but I had no childcare. So I was like, that would be amazing.
But the refusal of not even willing to invest anything into it is just almost offensive for me.
Wait, what did they not want to pay?
I agree with that.
What's that?
What part did they not want to pay?
Pay for the airline ticket. I paid for everything else already.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I remember you talking about. You're like, I got the hotel, I got the tickets, I got everything. That's wild.
You be surprised.
Yeah, I don't agree with having any one person pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask and we splitting it and it's a trip, I'm definitely gonna pull my own weight at least. I feel like that's the least that I would be able to do. If this is a trip that I know I can take on my own, You know what I'm saying? And if I don't necessarily even need him to pitch in, then I mean, I'm only asking you to just so that I don't travel alone. How about that? You know what I'm saying? But I can travel alone and be all right. You know, but I'm definitely going to pull my weight. I don't agree with this whole having to have, you know, men pay for everything or women paying for everything either. I don't necessarily agree with that mindset. And I hear it a lot all the time.
It's not that I couldn't, it's the principle.
Right.
I mean, because I bought all that other stuff. The plane ticket was actually the cheapest thing, was the cheapest of all of it. It's just the principle.
It doesn't necessarily have to be the cheapest. I had it both ways. I've been taking places, I've been vet places, and I've paid for my own. Oh, for that particular one. Okay, and I paid for my own flight. It hasn't always been cheaper to pay for my flight, and it hasn't always, and sometimes it's been cheaper to just cover the hotel. Like, you know, I've had it both ways. I said, I'm 46 years old. I've done.
Trust me, the hotel was not cheap, and neither was those tickets because they were pretty close. Trust me, the hotel the flight was by far the cheapest thing.
But still, her paying her own.
What is the principle? What is the principle that we're standing on with that? Because if you're paid for the whole day, land.
Because you have nothing invested but just showing up.
You talking to me? You answering me? That's
I'm just saying, you asked me what the purpose of. I'm saying because she has nothing invested in this, you know, in this date or this situation other than showing up.
But if we're not going anywhere and traveling anywhere and getting on planes and not involved, you're still paying for the whole day.
Yeah, if I ask you,
so she still has nothing invested but just showing up. So what is the difference?
But see, it's not a trip. This is going to go on roller skates. I'm not going to ask you to rent your own skates, right?
I was just wondering what the principle, because again, like I said, I've done both. I've paid for my own trip and I've been taking places.
Travel is different than just going locally, meeting at a bar or meeting at a farmer's market versus going across the country or going out of the country, because the whole flued out thing.
But now here's the thing, you said she didn't have to do anything but show up. But how did she show up? Did she show up looking? No, what I want to know is how did she show up? Because you know what?
Oh, no,
it's not free. It don't. We don't. It costs. You know, we prepared to go for trips, even if it's on a girls' trip. It costs hundreds of dollars for us to even prepare to get ready. We buying all new outfits. We getting our nails done. We getting our hair done. We getting waxes. We getting a lot. So we didn't just show up. Because I could just show up like I ended up at the gym, or I could have prepared myself to be out and about with you. Again, I'm just asking because we got principles too. Like, that's not just showing up. And if we are traveling, then we've been dating for a little while. I would think.
We do a lot of stuff too. It's not like we.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't.
Like, when my point is, you need to show investment. If this is a trip. This is not a date. Now, like I say, if you're going out on a date, you buy new, like, hey, that's on you. I mean, I get a fresh haircut, get my car washed, do all this stuff. I do stuff too, because I'm not going to go out in a dirty car and looking raggedy,
But I don't think it's fair to say she just showed up. That's the only reason why I brought that up, because
Okay, let me add this really quick so it doesn't get lost in translation. Yep. Each person has to personally prepare themselves for the date. I think that it negates itself, because if it's going back to Derek using an example, Derek has to pay for himself, Yonci has to pay for herself. But now Derek has to pay for Yonci and Derek. So that argument, when women make that, it makes me cringe, not directed at you, Kimberly, but just that you're speaking for what a lot of women think when they talk about how much it costs. There are costs on the guy's side. I know my guy, when he takes his boys out for haircuts, easily a couple $100 for everyone to get their haircut. Like he mentioned, the car, putting gas in the car, all that stuff. So I think that we really have to value how much guys are spending on the actual date itself, because when I started, I volunteered to start taking my guy out because I was like, I want him to feel special too. And then I was like, this adds up quickly.
I've done both. I've taken people out on dates too, but I have never asked a man what the principle was that he was standing on, where he drew the line on what he expected a woman to pay for, because previously he said he would pay for everything. So I was just, because of a different date, I just wanted to know from Derek, what is the difference between...
That's not a first date. So the other things were first
dates.
Right,
that's not a first... Yeah. The travel part is not a first date.
Yeah, the
obviously.
concert and the travel, that's not a first date. This is, these are people I've already known that, it's not like
And
I just walked
also,
up to
this
you.
was not a hypothetical situation. You're saying that was an
Yeah, this is
actual.
a real, yeah, this is a real situation.
So welcome Willie to the show. Definitely need some more guys feedback on this. One of the questions that I had asked was, when you are asking a woman out, you guys have been chatting back and forth, are you asking her input before you're coming up? And me knowing you personally, I'll just say this, I know you would never ask a woman to Chili's. So if hypothetically you were asking a woman out and you were going to ask her to Chili's, are you checking first to see if that's somewhere that she would go?
I don't want to say this in like a bad way, but I promise you that no one that I ask out would ever even cross me as like someone that I could take to Chili's on the first date. For the simple fact is that I'm trying to set a precedent on the first date, and Chili's doesn't set the tone for me. That's not a first date. I take my son to Chili's when he gets a good grades on a test. I don't take a woman who I'm trying to court or vet as whether or not she's qualified for my protection provision long term to Chili's. That's not where we're going to go. So.
All right then. He said.
I said nobody raised the level. Didn't I say that? I said I have never met a man who raised the level of effort that he put in past what you accept in the beginning.
Well, I don't agree with that either, because
I never met him.
The effort that I put out in the beginning is just what I feel I'm worth, because you're worth my time. When you show me that you're worth more, when you show me that you're worth more, you get more from me. Because to think that what you're saying means, logically speaking, that you get the same thing from a man on the first date that you get on the 100th date.
That's a great point.
That's not exactly what I said. What I meant when what I said though, that's not what I meant.
I'm not saying
that's not what I meant.
But according to your logic, I'm just following your logic chain. If you said a man doesn't give you any more effort than he does from the first date to the 10th,
that means it can't go up.
That's not necessarily on him. That's kind of on both of y'all, because a man is going to give you the effort that he feels you're worth. And if that's all you're getting from him, then that's not necessarily a him thing. That's his valuation of you.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So he evaluated me and felt like I didn't deserve more effort. But again, I accepted something in the beginning. I could have saved some time. Like, that's fair enough. Like, everybody doesn't have to find me worth their time, because I don't find everybody worth mine.
Correct.
But, I felt that what I've accepted in the beginning didn't escalate the way it should have in the past. And honestly, I was speaking from experience with that. I met a man based on a list too. I accepted dinner at home. He cooked dinner for me. It was a really nice first date too. But every other day after that was an invitation to come to his home. So I had to be like, no, I don't want to. And then he had to step up the effort a little more, but then it was awkward. So that's what I meant with that. And I got that from experience, not like hypothetical.
And I get what you're saying, Kim, like as far as setting the bar, if I think you can take from both of you. I think that if you don't go below what you think. So for example, I'm not going to dude's house and Netflixing and chilling. So that's a personal bar for me. However, I do agree also with Willie that it is going to advance. So this is the part that I really, really, really want women to understand, is that as much as each person thinks that they are incredible and have value and all that, which you do, everyone has value. Just like beauty, value is in the eyes of the beholder. So to Derek, for example, I could mean the world to him and he is going to risk his life for me. Willie could meet me and be like, meh, not really my cup of tea. So I think we do ourselves a disservice to feel like the desire is universal with men. And I think that we have to give men a little bit of runway to build up that like, because correct me if I'm wrong, because I got two guys here live on the panel and I got men in the comments. From what I have seen, a man will make a snap judgment on a woman from her physical beauty. Like, he has to be attracted to her. Things have to be moving down there when he sees her, right? We're just blunt. But then from there, he gets a chance to get to know her. As he gets to know her and really gets to know her, that's when the emotional bond kicks in. And now he's actually incentivized to do these things. This is why I say, and correct me if you guys disagree, men, but this is why I say a man who comes out the gate hardcore whining and dining, my radar is going off and I'm thinking possibly love bombing, because you don't know me, sir.
Right.
How are you head over heels? You just know that I'm cute to you. So,
I have a response to that. And the only thing that I would say is that from a lot of what I hear what my guy friends say is, and I don't necessarily always agree with what they say, but they say that a lot of women that they're trying to date have like a lot of entitlement and, feel like, hey, if he's asking me out, he's supposed to do this, that, and the third, or whatever. And I even had a girlfriend of mine who told me that a guy invited her on a trip and everything. And she basically just, showed up and didn't really have to do anything. But then she wondered why he didn't really call her back after that. So I'm like, well, sis, let me ask you a question. Did you maybe chip in at all for that trip? Was that a trip that maybe he was, taking himself and maybe he just wanted, some companionship? Did you contribute in any kind of way? Like, any kind of way, sis? And I just asked, you know what I'm saying? And I remember she was talking to me and telling me, and I had heard both ends of it. And so I'm like, I think I see both sides. Like, when it comes to men and women in dating, it's like, just like on the other spectrum, a lot of women that I hear, like men, in their experience expect sex, whether they right away, like whether they have gone out on a couple of dates or whatever, they sitting here trying to smash already. And I'm like, I mean, I get that, because I've had that experience too, where it's like, we had a good time, but that still don't mean I'm about to smash. Like, it's crazy out here, Yonci. I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, what? Dating is supposed to be fun. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it supposed to be fun?
No, I really,
getting to know someone should be fun.
I had a rude wake up. I thought it was going to be like, well, I was going to say Sex and the City, but that was a lot of drama, so maybe I shouldn't reference that. But I really thought it would be like Boy Meets Girl, good times. It's like these high school specials where everyone's just having a great time. Willie, you said you had something you wanted to chime in. So what were your thoughts? And then I think I saw Sai's hand go up.
You said that if a guy comes out the gate hardcore, that it feels like he may be love bombing. I would say consider that for the type of men that you attract and that I know you have access to, a lot of those men don't date easily. So when we do decide to date, we're going to date you at our level, not the level that you expected or the level that you're used to. So with me, I don't eat at Chili's, so I'm not going to Chili's. I don't eat at Cheesecake Factory, but I eat at Philomena's or Wolfgang Puck, the Cut, the Rare Steakhouse, whatever, regularly. That's where I'll take you. Or the types of things that I do myself alone aren't, or I guess would be love bombing myself under the logic that under your premise. So maybe that those guys who do that, they're just showing you that, hey, this is what I do for myself and I'm trying to share this with you. And it's not necessarily always that they're love bombing you. It's just that, hey, I don't want to date you at at your level that you're used to. I want to show you that this is my level. This is what you can expect from me.
And just to clarify, I'm not saying it's 100%. I said I would be on guard for that, because I think that there are a lot of parallels. And the biggest indication to me of love bombing is when the man is trying to speed up the process. So if a guy is just pulling out all the stops and he's like, this is just what it is, like you saying, this is just me, this is how I flow, I'm not going to feel the pressure to acquiesce to anything. I'm going to go at my pace. But once if a guy is trying to speed things up, that's where the love bombing comes in. I do not disagree with anything that you said. Sai, did I see your hand up a second ago?
No, I was giving someone a heart.
Oh, I just saw something out of the corner of my eye. Okay. So guys, let me know. Grace said he likes how rational Shantae is. Something that you got some love, Tay, and I think someone else said protect this woman at all costs. I believe that is for you. He didn't put a name. For the lady in the middle, you're spot on. That would be you, Tay. Men curb women silently after they see how she maneuvers. Women just reject you up front. Yes.
100. Yonci, can I just say something too? Because I feel like some of the things that Derek was saying and even Shantae was saying in terms of like the type of women who are using men for a free meal ticket and all this other stuff. I just feel like, with dating, like I just don't think that people should come into it with uh, like on a defense type of thing. Because I mean, we women have experiences too, and like we can't look at dating and bring all of our baggage and all of the stuff that we go through and come in like already making assumptions about the guy because the last guy that we dated did X, Y, and Z. And I feel like with these conversations with men when they talk about this stuff and they tailor their dating experience based on all the traumatic experiences they've had with other women who are not considered, who don't reciprocate, who use them for food. Like when they tailor their dating experience with women in the future based on those experiences, you're essentially doing what women who don't heal from past relationships and start off like accusing you or questioning you. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? So I just feel like
an example of a man tailoring his dating experience based on his past traumas. Can you give like an experience of how a guy,
like I mean, he just kept mentioning that, right? He kept mentioning like the women that are are in it for this, or the people in the comments were saying it. And I've heard like from this conversation with the list that people are saying, well, men just want to test women to see how they, how they respond to like some of these dates that they want to take them on. And I just think that that's like, first of all, it's super childish to be testing people. I don't think it's like that's not, to me, that's not just communicate, right? But I don't know. I just feel like I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying that if you're tailoring your dating experiences with a new woman based on like some of the things that have experienced with other women, it's just like you're setting yourself up for.
I feel the same way. I feel like it's very defensive, and I feel like men put you. I don't really want to have to feel like I'm being put through an initiation or an audition.
You get
I don't want you to play games with me and test me and see what I would, like, don't do that. Because if that says a lot about you too. Like, I'm a person. And when you meet me outside of a panel or outside of Facebook and stuff, I'm mad cool. And, everybody doesn't like me, for a relationship. But I don't think I need to be tested. I think we can have a conversation and you can know from there. And I think as what my father taught me, what my brothers taught me, is that a man does know from there. It's not necessary to put you through further tests.
You said what?
Because a man does know from there, from the conversation, from talking, from getting to know who I am. We don't have to go on a test. You don't have to say, let me just take her here and see if she'll go there and see if she'll accept that and see what type of woman she is, and then I'll give her more. I mean, I find men play that game too. Like those type of games, leave those at the door, because I don't do that to you. I wouldn't string a man along, give a little here, just to see how you react.
Right. Silly
or like hold back or tailor your dating experience based on something that you went through in your past.
Right. I could appreciate you wanting to give your best foot forward for a woman because you want to give them the experience that you want them to have. And I can also appreciate not wanting to waste your time, energy, or money with somebody that you don't think that you can go anywhere with. That's why I like pre-dates. That's why I was like, the coffee could be a pre-date, have a little conversations. Activity dates, you don't have to be trapped in the dinner, but we don't have to play games with each other, and we don't have to be on the defensive. We're looking for relationships and connections. So I'm not looking for another enemy. I'm not looking for somebody to debate and fight with. I'm looking for somebody to connect with. You know what I'm saying? And at my age, everybody's different ages, but at my age, it's hard to find somebody who hasn't been through something and who doesn't have preconceived notions about relationships, who don't have baggage. So at this age, everybody's healed, just moving on from something. And so it's a different area, it's a different arena. So I just think it's a different way that we have to relate to each other. And I'm tired of fighting with men over stuff like this. I know it's not going to be like in high school. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not going to be like that.
I think there's a spectrum when it comes to like tests. I personally am not a fan of tests. Like I'll see those stories that kind of go viral where it's hypothetical situations. Well, if this person did this because they were testing them and they failed the test. I don't believe in manufacturing tests, but I do believe that a person will be tested organically
Right.
over time.
Organically,
So,
right.
right.
But
So-
I think that's when you mesh or don't mesh, and you realize that, oh, that's something that I don't like about this person.
Right. I'm not going to purposely set a trap. Like, I'm not going to send a guy a woman's DM to see if he responds. You know, like, I'm going to find out if he's a loyal kind of guy. So if they're going in intentionally trying to set a trap or things like that, I think that is different. I think that what is being discussed, at least from my opinion, what I've heard so far, it sounds kind of like somebody moving with caution. So for me, I could use the example. When I was younger, I was naive. I literally thought Netflix and chill meant we would chill while watching Netflix. Like, my dumb butt's like, oh, what movie are we going to watch? And I had to learn the hard way that was just code. And so then I got to the point where someone, don't laugh at me, say I had to learn.
I'm not gonna laugh because you were young. It's okay.
I was young and super naive. Like, oh, what are we doing? But I got to the point where it was just a hard no. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a pastor, a bishop, whatever. If you are asking to come to my house or you're asking me to come to yours, the answer is no. Like, we're not. And I had men who were offended because they were like, oh, you're basing it on your past experiences and I'm not like other guys. I'm like, I wouldn't even tell them why at a certain point. I just said, oh, no, that doesn't work for me. And so someone could say I'm using my baggage, but to me, sometimes it's you've had so many experiences, you learn. So if you are a guy and you've had multiple women use you for XYZ, I can kind of understand not leading with that. Or if I was a guy and I had a Lamborghini, for example, and a Toyota, I might pick her up.
There's
in
a
the
difference.
Toyota. Like,
there's a difference from learning from your experiences, right? And maybe, like, you know, there's a difference between learning from the experiences that you've had, which we all have been through some stuff probably, right? And like literally tailoring your experience, your future dating experiences based on like trauma. And I feel like a lot of people, I mean, both men and women do it, but when we're talking about dates specifically and these conversations, that's all I hear. Like, I hear a lot of men, like, you know, when they talk about this stuff, they're talking about the women who use them for dates and without taking any accountability, because there's accountability there for them too. You know what I mean? Just
like
the
the type of woman you chose.
I choose.
Exactly.
Right. Same. Yeah, you didn't vet them properly.
Like, who was you going after? Who was you trying to talk to?
Right. Just
I feel like those
just
women
like
is stamped across their forehead. I can see them a mile away. I don't know why
No,
you see.
and
And then
like-
you try, and
just
then
like
you
for
get mad
women,
at the
if there's
rest
a
of
pattern-
us.
because you weren't distracted by the big booty, Kim. That's why.
Oh, well, then I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm battling against men who went after women that they were just completely out of their league, and you just couldn't reach up there. Now I got to fight against that. Like, don't do that to me. I'm regular, regular girl from South Jamaica, Queens, bro. You don't have to treat me like that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's what I fight against, because she won't even answer you in your DMs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you just want
Like
this.
the
No,
guy-
she just wants that, and you tried to holler at her. Now I'm over here and I'm just regular, and I got to fight against that stereotype that you projecting on me because you went after something you can't really get.
That's it.
Yonci, the other guy that was here, he was here on another
What'd you say,
one of
Willie?
your other panel things, and he was talking about how like all like the women that he was dating, that, you know, they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, and you know
I know what you're
they're
talking
had brand name stuff and all this other stuff, and then they expected him to foot the bill for these things, and I'm like, well, I mean, you're choosing these women, you see them, they're presenting to you who they are, right?
Right.
Like, you know who they are. He talks about her Instagram and how she's constantly traveling everywhere. And so like he thought that, you know, that's the lifestyle that she was living, but in actuality, she was expecting him to foot the bill for that lifestyle. And I'm like, well, if this is a pattern, right? And you're meeting women who, like, they're trying to use you for money, they're trying to use you for this, or they're having these expectations of you, and it's a pattern. Like, you might want to take a look at like the type of women that you're attracted to.
Right. Still
Right?
choosing
Because you're the
type of
common
woman.
denominator.
Because I
You're
mean,
the
there's
common
something there.
denominator.
There's something there. You know,
They always tell us to check the men that we choose. They
Yeah.
always tell us, well, you're picking the wrong men. So you might be picking the wrong woman.
Willie, what were you gonna say?
I just wanted to make sure that you know, be careful who you choose. Accountability was reciprocal on both sides, because I know that's a trigger to a lot of women are triggered by hearing that when men in these circles say, be careful who you choose or when you chose them, so whatever. And you guys, what I think that you guys are experiencing are men who are shooting at these women that they meet on social media who are really attractive, hypersexual, and they look at them like, if I can get this woman, that'd be a status symbol, when they don't realize that they're just regular women too. And that facade, the facade those women put up, as is one way, but then when you see them in real life, they're not going to all these extravagant places by themselves, or they can only afford these, trips because they have 6 roommates in, a 1-bedroom apartment. So like these guys that are out here, that you guys are out here dating now, who may feel away because they've been chasing those types of women, I don't necessarily think that it's because they have been able to get them. I think those guys are just mad because the same way that women feel like they settle for a guy at some point, they've had a complicated life and then they finally get with a guy. I think that those men that you guys are attracting and dating feel like they're having to settle for regular women now, when, again, most of the people who don't think they're regular are, especially when it comes to men. I will say that a lot of men feel that they are significantly more important, valuable, or have more status than they do, based off of things they've seen, ideologues they've metastasized to their personality, to think that they're higher value or they're above average, when being a 5 isn't a bad thing. You're average. Nothing is wrong with being average, but it's only okay for us to tell men that. Like,
I just said I was a regular schmegular degular girl from South Jamaica, Queens. I said that.
She did.
And I'm not. And my comment.
I don't think you even heard what I said.
By the way,
Let's
the comment wasn't about men that I'm dating.
Right, not me either. Not that I'm dating at all.
I've been trying to double dutch for like the last 10 minutes.
I know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Only thing I would say, we probably got to rewind way back, but the only thing I would say about kind of testing, it's like, on one hand, you say, well, men should vet better. Well, they're the one that picked them, but then some of you, and I'm not talking about you, anyone on this panel in particular, but a lot of them have a problem with being vetted. And it's almost hypocritical, because if you live in the hood and you move into a nice neighborhood, guess what's going to happen? You still paranoid in the hood. Just because you change environments, you change women, doesn't mean you're going to forget about your past. And it doesn't mean that you're treating, someone like it was before, but you are realistically going to do things on your own, based on your experience. That's just a reality. You're not going to, you can't treat someone you just met like you've known her for 10 years. That's just not reality. And I think, and that's, again, it's not directed at any one person, but I think based on what I've heard through all these relationship talks and so forth, a lot of women expect men to treat them when they don't know them from, 3,000 other women like they're special. And unfortunately, one thing we have to understand, we're not that special and we're not that different. So, we love to think we're a snowflake, and unfortunately, most of the time we're not. I hate to say it that way, but we're not as special as we think we are. So, we have to understand that women have their vetting process, and sometimes I think women are better at it. And some men that have standards and things going for themselves, they have vetting process because, from our perspective, you have something to lose, you have to be careful and you have to vet. You just can't be out here willy-nilly and freelancing. So that's all I wanted to interject. So.
No, I think that.
Can I just say there's a difference between vetting and testing? And I feel like when I said testing, I didn't mean vetting. And I think I know you didn't just say me, but I just want to say clearly that there's a difference between vetting and testing. Because I vet men too. But I just feel like, and again, not to nobody on this panel either. I'm talking about the conversation that I've seen online surrounding dating and what women expect. I'm finding a lot of men want to test you and see. I saw somebody say that. Like, he used the example of Prince Akeem in Coming to America. He put this, it's a movie, but he put her through all of these tests, and then she wouldn't have become the queen of Zamunda. Yes. I'm like,
he didn't know her. So that's how he had it.
Yeah, It's a movie.
I'm just saying, but if you're going to use that principle, that's why he tested her, because he didn't know anything about her and he never met her and he didn't want her. That's why he had to test her.
Why not? But why not just experience a person and get to know them and
That's
vet
what
them
I'm.
properly
That's exactly what I'm
instead
trying
of
to
creating
say.
traps and testing? Like, to me, that's just.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, maybe she's really good at.
Maybe, say there's a difference
listen,
between
maybe
vetting
she's
and
really good
testing.
at passing. Maybe she's really good at passing tests, and she actually isn't great. And she's just really good at giving you the right answers and doing the right thing and faking the funk just to get you. And then later on, you find out that she's just really good at passing tests. You didn't actually experience
that's the man's fault for having a faulty vetting system.
But you guys gotta remember, we all single, right? So somebody, we still all single. Except Yonci, she got her man. But what I'm saying is, we all testing, we all trying, and we all doing the best we can, and we all still single. So you're doing your best, we doing our. I don't have to be single either. Let me explain something to you. I just let the last nigga go because he fucked up. All right, he messed up the way he messed up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse Derek out. But I
can't lose our sponsors now. But
I'm just saying, I don't have to be single either. I don't have to be single either. But I was dating somebody for 8 months, and I liked him a lot. I thought he liked me too. I could probably call him now and get him back, but I had to set boundaries because I was falling back into a trap that I felt like it was going to be a struggle-y, toxic-y type of situation. I feel like the age that we're at, everybody might not have been as healed as they might have been as we thought we were when we came together. So I don't think that it was going to be a healthy relationship for either one of us. So I had to end it. I was hoping we could end as friends because I thought he was a cool dude, but being mature, everybody, we can't still be friends. But I just say that to say I don't have to be single either. You probably don't have to be single. We all are single by choice, or we might be single by whatever. But what I'm just saying is we're all still single. So we're all still testing or vetting people, getting to know people, and trying to find connections with people. And we haven't hit that mark yet, so we're all still learning from our experiences. So I don't think you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yonci, can you clarify what's the difference between vetting and testing? Because I
personally,
I'm sorry. Let him finish, please.
I'm making a point. So I tell people I work at the post office when I meet them to level set. I got a good, decent job, and I'm self-sufficient. And then as things progress, they start wondering like, hey, what kind of mail you deliver? You know what I mean? So is that me testing women, or is that me vetting?
I think that's well, it depends. Are you gonna want to know what I do? Can we both be equally as secretive about our stuff? I think that might be a test more than a vet. I think that's a test. I don't know if it's a test because you're not setting up a situation to see how she passes it. You're holding information back because you don't want her to get you for your money. And I think that's what I'm reading. And I think we kind of can all do that. So that's more of neither a test or a vet, but more of a not a defense, but protective thing. And I don't know where that falls. And that doesn't bother me. That's not something that would bother me, but I don't know if that falls into testing or vetting, or more like protecting your interests and being cautious. And I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. But only if you don't ask me questions you don't want to answer.
So I think that we vet on both sides. To answer your question, Willie, I actually don't know if I could define the difference. I think that what I would say is vetting tends to happen over time. I think tests are more out the gate. They're actual setups where you can, pass or fail, and it's creating a false situation. I can understand withholding certain things until you find out that person is privy to that. I did not talk about what I did for a living. I mean, I dodged it to the point where people thought am I doing OnlyFans? Am I a stripper? What do I do? Because I would not talk about what I did for a living. I was super vague. I'm I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, vague. And then it made sense once I shared. But this is a perfect wrapping point, guys. We have just 4 minutes. So I'm going to be saying goodnight to everybody who is on the panel. I really appreciate everybody for joining in. I'm gonna be sending you guys one by one because again, we are doing the ghetto bootleg version for the last time tonight. Willie, you missed it, but I'm actually stepping up to do StreamYard next week. So one by one, you guys are gonna go in the waiting room, but you can still watch on YouTube as I do my closing remarks. I really, really appreciate everybody coming on. Thank you so much. I promise.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I promised that I would be really good and make sure I kept to the time schedule. So that's why I got to be quick. Thank you for joining, Derek, one of my special guests for tonight. We go way, way back. I appreciate you speaking up for men. It's not easy to come on. Well, for you it is, but for most people, it's not easy to come on a panel of women. So thank you so much. I'm going to send you to the waiting room. Thank you. And last but not least, thank you for Willie for joining in. I appreciate you giving some backup to Derek. I hope you will consider coming back again. Absolutely. All right, friend. Okay. All right, guys. So this is it for, well, let me put my little screen. Y'all, I got my little, oh, no, I don't have the one I want. Oh, goodness. Y'all, see, this is why I can't wait for some next week. I can't wait till next week so I have my little graphics all together. Let me just set this up real quick like y'all. Y'all so patient. If y'all could see the hot mess that I have behind the scenes, I might just have to leave this as is. All right, this is going to have to work. There we go. All right, so as I mentioned at the very beginning, tomorrow, if you are not signed up yet, tomorrow is my class, I'll say group chat. Tomorrow is my class for women who are in relationships. I'm going over the top 10 things that women do that sabotage their relationship. And it's super important that you take this class as a preventative measure, especially if your relationship is great, because just like taking your car in for a tune-up, you don't want to wait until there's some weird rattling noises coming from under the hood or the car starts shaking. You want to go ahead and do your regular scheduled maintenance. So these are things that you can be on the lookout for. They are very commonly done. And so best case scenario, you hear the list and you say, oh, those don't apply to me, or I'm not doing most of those things. That's the best case scenario. But for the things that you might have done, it's like plaque building up on your teeth. If you catch it early, you can turn things around. You do not want your guy to emotionally withdraw because it's very hard to get him to come back out of his turtle shell, so to speak, if he has gone into there because he doesn't feel like you're a safe space or he doesn't feel loved or respected by you. So I break it down for you. It's happening tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a 1-hour class. Slide in my DM on Instagram with the word tune up and I will give you that information. I've actually had so many men asking for the class. I've never seen that before. But if you guys want to get the replay, you're more than welcome to. So I guess slide in my DM with the word tune up. Anyway, guys, thank you for everyone who smashed that like button. Really appreciate that. I am going to be coming to you live next week. We've got a brand new topic coming. You guys can see what's coming up next on my Instagram. I always post everything on Instagram. And so you guys can check that out. I am on the struggle bus right now with our graphics. I was going to try to put some graphics up, but that's it. If you guys enjoy the show, let me know in the comments. It goes for a couple seconds after I close it. So thank you to everybody who came. Feel free to let me know the city and state that you're watching from. Feel free to share any tips that you have. I want this show to be for you. It's not for me. It's for you guys. So anything that you like that you want to see more of, let me know what you like and want to see more of. Anything that you did not like, you can feel free to share that as well. All right, guys, I am closing out right at the top of the hour. Until next time, have a great day.